The movie kicks off way back in 1987, and it's immediately super creepy. There are these women doing some kind of ritual, and one girl is washing her hands, which are totally covered in blood, in this pond. The second she does, all these other ladies in masks behind her start doing this really weird dance and chanting. They're all following this one leader who's standing up on a hill. And then the leader grabs a ton of needles and just starts tapping them right into the girl's face. Then bam, the scene cuts. So now it's 2024, like way later. We meet these two kids, Hanif and his sister Beyond, who ditched school to go to their mom's shop. Their mom Tari is there and she's yelling at her brother, their uncle Kadar. Classic uncle, right? He's got no job and is always hitting her up for cash. But this time he's like, no, for real, this is important. Mom is super sick. She's about to die. He tells Tari she should go see her one last time and just forgive her. Tari is not having it. She gets so mad just hearing about her mom. She's like, I'm never forgiving her. She bailed on us when we were kids and never even looked back to see if we were alive. But then Kadar says something that gets her thinking, basically hinting that this is their only chance to finally get some answers about everything. So she agrees, and the whole family piles into the car to go to Grandma's house. On the way, Kadar keeps getting these threatening texts because apparently he owes a bunch of people money. Total disaster, that guy. Anyway, they get to Grandma's house, and whoa, it's a straight-up palace with a huge swimming pool. Hanifa's freaking out like, I think Grandma's loaded. When they go inside, the first thing they see is this giant painting of their grandma from when she was young and beautiful, and get this, she's holding a creepy wooden mask. So they meet the caretaker, and while they're talking, Grandma starts having a really bad episode. But instead of medicine, the caretaker just plays this bizarre song, and somehow Grandma gets better. So weird. They all go into Grandma's room, and everyone is shocked. Grandma looks way younger than Tari, her own daughter. She's supposed to be like 70, but she looks amazing. Beyond creeps up to her grandma, and the old lady just grabs her hand with this super tight, scary grip. Beyond is totally freaked out, so Tari yanks her away. While all this is going on, Kadar is snooping around the house, and bingo! He finds a closet stuffed with cash and the same wooden mask from the painting. That night, the caretaker spills the beans. She's like, she's been like this for a month. The doctors have no idea what's wrong. I think a spirit possessed her. So she called a shaman. Tari, who doesn't believe in any of that stuff, just says no way. Later, the kids are playing and Hanif's toy car goes missing. Beyond hears it coming from under Grandma's bed. She crawls under to get it, but just as she's coming out, Grandma has this huge jolt and falls right on top of her. Grandma just keeps seizing over and over. Beyond screams, everyone runs in and Kadar lifts Grandma back onto the bed. Then, out of nowhere, Grandma sits right up and pukes all over Kadar. So yeah, they call the shaman. This shaman dude gives Tari some leaves and tells her to keep grinding them. He gives Kadar a coconut and is like, when I tell you to, you have to stomp on this thing. Hard. The shaman starts his ritual chanting and stuff, and Grandma's body starts shaking even more violently. He keeps yelling at Kadar to stomp the coconut, and every time Kadar does, a needle pops out of Grandma's mouth. It's so messed up. This happens over and over until a ton of needles have come out of her mouth. As soon as the last needle is out, Grandma dies, but here's the craziest part. The second she dies, her body instantly changes from looking young to looking like an extremely old woman. It happens in just a few seconds and everyone's jaw is on the floor. The shaman tells them that Grandma was part of some ritual and those needles were the reason she couldn't have a natural death. He gives the needles to Kadar and says they have to take them back where they came from. He also says that because of all the messed up stuff Grandma did to her body, she can't be buried and she can't be cremated. They have to throw her body into the same pond where she used to do her rituals. And get this, they have to do it by the coming Thursday. Tari is freaking out like, why do we have to do any of this? And the shaman is basically like, don't ask questions, just do it, or else really bad things are going to happen to you guys.
Okay, so it gets even crazier. The shaman tells them they have to keep Grandma's dead body in the house for a whole week until the next Thursday. The kids, Bayan and Hanif, are totally freaked out, but Hanif tries to act tough and is like, don't worry, I'll protect you. So, the next day, Tari and the caretaker are washing Grandma's body, like the shaman told them to, and then, you are not going to believe this, the corpse just starts talking. It's like, leave me alone, and Tari gets so scared she literally drops the body. Total nightmare fuel. That night, they've got the body laid out in the middle of the room, and Tari's trying to pray. She hears someone praying behind her and thinks it's the caretaker, but nope. She turns around, and it's some other creepy ghost thing telling her to get out. She is, once again, totally scared out of her mind. Meanwhile, Bayan can't sleep. She sees a shadow at her door, but when she checks, no one's there. But as she's closing the door, we see a ghost right behind her. She doesn't even notice, gets back in bed, pulls the covers up, and bam, Grandma's ghost is just lying there, right next to her. She lets out this massive scream, and Tari comes running in. Bayan is hysterical, telling her mom how Grandma's spirit was cuddling with her. So messed up. The The next morning, Hanif is being a total kid and decides to go on Facebook Live with his mom's phone, giving his friends a tour of the huge house. He's showing off the pool and everything. Tari's looking for her phone, and to be funny, Hanif hides in a closet. But then, that creepy wooden mask from before just flies right at his face. He screams and runs out. Bayan hears him and comes running, and he's like, "Look in the closet!" But of course, there's nothing there. Then, there's Kadar, who's getting texts from people he owes a ton of money to. So, of course, he tells Tari they should just sell the house. Tari completely loses it. She's like, "Are you for real? Mom isn't even cold yet, and you're already talking about money? That's all you ever think about." Later, Hanif grabs the mask again, you think they would learn, and starts swinging on Grandma's rocking chair. Bayan totally scolds him, saying, "Dude, what are you doing? Her soul is still in the house. You can't mess with her stuff." He doesn't really care, but she nags him so much that he finally puts it away. But then, in the middle of the night, Hanif wakes up and sees Bayan swinging on that same chair. He's like, "Seriously, let me sleep." But then something yanks his blanket off. He looks up and Bayan is just staring at him with this super weird, creepy look on her face. He screams and runs to Tari saying something is wrong with Bayan. But when Tari goes in, Bayan is just sleeping peacefully. Hanif is so scared he refuses to sleep in the same room. Tari's like, "Okay, fine, I'll sleep with you guys." She lifts the blanket and surprise, the wooden mask is just sitting there. Hanif finally fesses up and says sorry, admitting that every time he wears it, he sees Grandma. The kids are so tired they just pass out on the sofa. Tari tells Kadar and the caretaker to watch them while she goes to buy plane tickets to get them all out of there. But when the kids wake up, everyone's gone. They're all alone in the haunted house. And where's Kadar? He's out getting wasted with some girl, spilling the beans about the whole ritual and the gold needles that came out of his mom's face. He thinks he's going to get rich by selling them, so he's totally ignoring the kids he was supposed to be watching. The kids are too scared to go inside, but Bayan has to go to the bathroom, like, really bad. She convinces Hanif to go with her for protection. He goes first, no problem. Then it's Bayan's turn, and she's taking forever. And he starts knocking, and when she opens the door, they both see it. Grandma's dead body is in the bathroom right behind them. They both scream and run out of the house. Just then, Tari pulls up and finds them. The next morning, they find Kadar passed out in a graveyard with all his clothes off. He tries to sneak back into the house, but Tari catches him. She's so mad, yelling at him for leaving the kids alone. And she can smell the booze on him. She's just like, "I can't believe I keep trusting you."
So Kadar, trying to get back on the kids' good side, shows up with a bunch of gifts. But the kids are like, "No thanks." They're totally traumatized and tell him, "You left us alone and Grandma's corpse came back to life and tried to kill us. You can't really buy your way out of that one." That night, it gets even weirder. Tari wakes up and Bayan is gone from the bed. She goes looking for her and finds a whole group of those masked women in her house. They're doing a ritual, and they've put Grandma's mask on Bayan's face. Tari rushes over to wake her up, but the women all surround her and start talking in this creepy single voice, telling her not to break her promise and just let it happen. Tari's not having any of that, so she shoves them all out of the way and rips the mask off Bayan's face. Poof, all the women just disappear and Bayan is passed out on the floor. Tari is completely done with this whole situation. She takes the mask and burns it. Then she tells Kadar they're burying their mom today, right now. Kadar's like, "Whoa, hold on. The shaman said we have to wait," but Tari is adamant. She's like, "I'm not waiting another day for who knows what to happen. If you're not helping me, I'll do it myself." So Kadar, even though he's scared, agrees to help. So they go bury the body, but on the way back from the graveyard, a crazy storm starts. They get near the house, and for a second, the house is just gone. Then they look again, and it's back, but with these giant, creepy shadows all around it. The caretaker gets scared and takes them to her house instead. But when they wake up, they're back inside the haunted house. And they start seeing Grandma's dead body everywhere. It's a total nightmare. And at one point, the ghost just picks Kadar up and chucks him into the swimming pool. The next morning, everyone's freaking out. Tari realizes she messed up big time. She's like, "Okay, we have to bring Mom's body back and do exactly what the shaman said." So she and Kadar go back to the graveyard, dig up the body again, and take it to that ritual pond. Kadar throws the pouch of needles in with her, and they finally head back to the house. Tari starts packing, ready to get the heck out of there. But as she's packing, she finds the mask in her luggage, the same mask she burned. She's totally stunned, picks it up, and it's like it's pulling her in. She puts it on, and bam! She gets this massive download of all her mom's memories. It turns out her mom did the whole ritual because she couldn't breastfeed Tari when she was a baby and felt like a failure. But the ritual had a huge price. It killed their dad and demanded more and more sacrifices. That's why their mom had to send them away, to protect them from the curse. Then, Tari sees her mom's ghost in the mirror. Her mom is crying and apologizing, explaining that the curse was coming for them next. The ritual demanded Kadar's life and Bayan's soul. She's like, "You have to finish this. Go save Kadar, there's still time." She tells Tari she has to throw the real needles into the pond, break the mask, and never come back. She even gives her a protection spell. Tari immediately goes to Kadar, furious. "You liar," she yells. Turns out Kadar kept the real needles to sell them and threw fakes in the pond. He put their entire family in danger just to pay off his debts. He finally gives her the real needles, and that's when all hell breaks loose. The kids suddenly get stuck to the ceiling. A huge storm starts raging, and some invisible force is trying to pull the kids out of the house. They manage to save Bayan, but Hanif gets snatched and disappears outside. Tari knows what she has to do. She leaves Bayan with the caretaker and bolts for the pond. As she gets there, she throws the needles in and chants the spell her mom taught her. A voice booms from the pond saying, "We're only taking what was promised," and they see Hanif's body floating in the water. Kadar completely breaks down and screams, "Take me instead! Leave him alone!" And get this, it works! Hanif starts floating to the surface. Tari and Kadar dive in and pull him out, but as Tari is trying to revive Hanif, she doesn't notice that Kadar has been pulled underwater by all the masked women. The leader tells them, "We're just taking what was promised." Tari remembers her mom's words, chants the spell one more time, and smashes the mask into pieces. This causes all the other women's masks to break too, revealing these horrible skinless faces before they all dissolve into the water. Kadar is safe. But just when you think it's over, the leader pops back out of the water, grabs Kadar, and drags him under for good, saying, "Your mother forgot. She has to make a sacrifice in this water." Tari jumps in after him, but he's just gone. The next morning, a heartbroken Tari locks up the house forever and leaves with her kids. And in a post-credit scene, we see the deserted house 100 days later. The painting of Tari's mom is gone, but in her old room, you can see her ghost just dancing all by herself, leaving you wondering if she ever really found peace.